Now I'm just going to give you, even if you're not too much into the science, what I'm going to show you is that these same principles linked to universal principles, and more maybe in the context of what we're interested in today, are what are known as the 4 virtues. So I'll bring in these again just because I introduced it from this angle. Moist and dry. Based upon these principles that were then formed using classical virtues, you had courage, you had justice, temperance, and wisdom, meaning that you could figure out you could figure out many things in relation to the psychological and spiritual nature of the things in this reality. Okay, so I'm giving you a super crash course just so you guys understand the baseline. Are there any questions on that? Any burning questions? Please do ask. I'm sure there must be. There's got to. Please ask. Just ask. Justice at the top for the sanguine, and then courage on the left hand side, wisdom at the bottom, and temperance on the right. Yeah. So essentially, when you went to the Hakim and you said, oh, Hakim Sahab, I'm feeling ill, blah blah blah, he wouldn't just look at you from only a physical aspect, rather he would look at you from your mental and your spiritual. So he would say, so if you have a headache, he wouldn't combat the material with material, he wouldn't combat physical just with physical. He would combat it, which is what we're seeing in modern medicine now, where, well, how's your, if you have a physical problem, how's your mental and how's your spiritual? Obviously, modern medicine doesn't really consider the spiritual state, right? And because obviously it's a post-secular study and complete framework. But fundamentally, they would say, so the Hakim would be like, well, you have a headache, how's the stresses in your life, etc., etc., etc. So, for us, even if you had a mental problem, there would be a spiritual reason for it. There may even be a physical reason. The modern world doesn't understand this, but they definitely are now correlating the relationship between the physical and the mental, personalities, even linking to cancer. Dr. Gabor Mate, and many others have so much work on this now being carried out, lots of research of the relationship between certain physical illnesses and psychological or mental states. But the Hikmah tradition, what this is known as, or Tib al-Nabawi, or whatever, Ilm al-Mizaj, lots of names, this includes the spiritual world, right? And says that your spiritual state will also have an effect.